back to D-Tech. Tonight we are working on this 2014. It's a Chevy Impala, and it was brought down to me from my friend's shop because they have been chasing this knock sensor issue for quite a bit. They've done a few things on it trying to rectify the problem, but they still keep getting a trouble code. And to just show you the trouble code that it has been brought to me with, not sure if this is the only one that they have been chasing, but here in the engine computer, currently present, it's an P0325 knock sensor circuit bank 1. And if I am correct, if my memory serves me right, I believe they were also getting for bank 2, the same code just for bank 2. Some of the things that they have tried, knock sensors, computer, jumping the wire harness, and then I told them to get a set of factory knock sensors, and supposedly they were still having the same issue. So that's when they decided to bring it down to me, and this is where we are at. This is my first time trying to diagnose a knock sensor issue on one of these GMs. So my approach is to take a measurement of the circuits for each bank and just see what's on there and take a look. And just to get you a quick shot, this is the computer. I told them leave it in the car, and you can tell they've got a freshly painted one in there, but of course did not make a difference. And I believe this is, not sure if the one I took off of the car or what. I have a used engine over on the other side where I took the knock sensors off while doing some testing, so I'll get you a shot of that. But for now, let's see what kind of signals we get. Now, as far as testing knock sensors or this knock sensor system, it's no different than the chassis leads that I hook up to the scope. So all I have to do is tap into the signal line and basically just knock on the knock sensor, and we should generate a signal on there. As far as my channels, the blue is bank 1 signal line, the red is bank 2 signal line, and then not for this first step, but later, I am monitoring what they're calling the low reference, or basically the ground for the corresponding one. So green is going to be the ground for the bank 1. The yellow gold channel is going to be the ground for bank 2 on the red channel. So for right now, I am going to go and tap on the knock sensors and see if we can generate a signal. I am tapped in the wire down at up at the computer, so we are all the way back up the harness right at the basically entry point of the computer. So we're going to try to capture everything up to that point. Alright, so we're going to go underneath. I'm going to get you a shot of the knock sensors, and I'm going to use that wrench to knock on it. So currently, I've got bank 2 knock sensor removed, obviously, and that one is actually the one that they purchased and bought. So that is the new one, and I do believe that is the part number for a GM knock sensor. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap on that, and then I'll get you a shot of bank 2. Tap on that, and then we'll get back on the scope. Alright, let's bank 2. Let's go to bank 1. Not sure how well you'll get to see. It's up there pretty tight, but All right, let's go take a look. Before we go up, I just wanted to get you a shot, and there you go. There's the new knock sensor that they put in. And this is bank 1. This is the one that is throwing the code. Alright, we'll go ahead and stop this. Let's go back. Alright, so there's bank 1. And there's bank 2. Alright, so was not expecting that. Bank 2 is the front one, the one that's hanging. And we definitely clearly are getting different amplitude levels. So, yeah, see, there's bank 1. I was definitely on it. I would have thought possibly would have gotten higher amplitude than this. So obviously compared to, it's just night and day. Yeah, so let me try knocking on them again. So being that we're getting basically different amplitude levels, I am going to tap a little bit lighter on this bank 2, this one that created a higher amplitude. So I'm going to try to tap on it very lightly, and then I'm going to go to bank 1, the one that's installed on the block, and I'm going to tap on that one much more forceful and see if our amplitudes change or if bank 1 is still a little bit of a weaker signal. Alright, so we'll go light on this one. Hopefully you can audibly pick it out of how light I am going. So it's real light. I'm going to go hard, just so we can tell a difference on the same bank. And then let's see. I know you can't see it, but hopefully I'll be able to knock loud enough where you can tell I'm knocking harder. So here we go. So definitely harder than bank 2. Let's go take a look. All right, let's stop this and let's go back. So that's bank 1. It's still not looking very high amplitude. And yeah, wow, big difference. Look at that. So if you remember, I had one last real hard tap, which is this guy right here. These were real soft taps. And look how, even then, how responsive the amplitude level is. Compared to still bank 1 right there. The 2 times that I basically was wailing on it, we can't even get it to anywhere near what bank 2 is doing. So this is interesting. Well, a couple things. All right, so a couple of things so far as to what we have basically learned just from that quick test. Our signal lines are good up to the computer. Second, our amplitude levels are different bank to bank. I know that they told me they were chasing both banks' knock sensor code. I don't specifically know if it was this same circuit code that they were chasing, but me having it here right now, I'm only receiving or retrieving bank 1 code. Basically what I'm getting at is if these 2 new GM sensors are installed and with the tapping test, bank 2, this one in the front, is just crazy responsive, let's call it, compared to bank 1, that we can barely get a decent amplitude despite the fact that we are tapping on that even harder. So I am curious and wondering if maybe by throwing these two sensors on, they got rid of the bank 2 code, but still are having a bank 1 code because it's not of a strong signal or strong enough signal to keep that computer happy. Okay guys, so my next step and or idea to try was to unbolt the knock sensor, let it hang just like the front bank, and I was going to knock on it while it was hanging by itself and see if the amplitude changed. But in doing so, let me see if I can get you a shot. Right there. The wiring, one of the pins has come out. Hopefully you can see that. So yeah, I bet that's going to contribute to our signal being low and not being a true sensor issue. Alright, so we ended up cutting this off, and I had a spare pigtail off a used harness, and we routed new line to the original knock sensor that they had bought and installed. And so now both are bolted back up into the regular position that they go in, and all we're going to do is knock on both of them and see if the amplitude has changed or is great. So again, we got the same channels. Blue is the bank 1, which is the one on the back that we were having issues with. I'll go ahead and we'll knock on that one first. And I'm doing not that hard of a tap, and the amplitude is great. Definitely greater than yesterday with the pigtail not fully inserted in there. So I would say that's a fix for that, and we'll go to the front one, which is bolted up. And again, that one was working fine yesterday, so I'd say this is probably going to be fixed. We're going to clear the code and start the vehicle, make sure both levels are about the same. Okay, so that is the voltages with the key on. We're going to go ahead and crank it up. I already cleared the trouble codes. Alright, so let's just double check if both banks' signal levels are the same, then I'd say we are good to go. So let's measure the blue and red average voltage and see what we get. Alright, so yeah, both are about the same, about the 2.7, 2.8 on the signal line while we are running both banks. I'd say we are good. Obviously no amplitude difference there while we're idling and running, so I would call this a fix.